Ladies and gentlemen, there have been a number of guys this evening who we haven't had to introduce. Guys like George Hincapie, Levi Leipheimer. If there's been a major character in the sport for as long as I can remember in my commentating career, it would have to be Jens Voigt. Jens, you once said to me that there's no point participating in a bike race unless you can race it, unless you can attack, which is, I think you better say guten Abend to somebody down there. We've got a few Germans in the audience.
We do have Germans here. Guten Abend an euch alle.
Jens, Sonntag, alles kaputt fahren, ja?
Yeah, I think that's a part of the plan. Absolutely.
That means they're going to go out hard and they're going to ride hard. Jens, you keep coming back, you love the sport, and you seem to inspire all the youngsters that are coming up, but this is a special team. Radio Nissan Trek was the combination of two teams, two big, great teams brought together with one goal of, first of all, trying to win the Amgen Tour of California and then possibly the Tour de France.
Yeah, pretty sure that we're gonna try to have like a serious test for like how things gonna develop in the tour. We got a defending champion here with Chris Horner, so for sure we're not here to finish 8 or 9. I mean, it might happen, but we start here to go podium. So yeah, I think there's a fair bit of work for us in the next week, but it's a great race. The weather looks really promising so far, it's pretty nice, sunny and warm. I remember Lake Tahoe last year, so I think we're off to a good start here.
Yeah, we do remember Lake Tahoe last year, and there are representatives from Lake Tahoe who are here. We hope we can go back one year. And next time I'll bring my skis. But anyway, we got a great welcome last year. Ladies and gentlemen, watch out for Jens Voigt, because he will be in a breakaway one day or another, and he'll be breaking some people's legs. And he'll be probably to try and set something up for some of the other guys a little bit further down in the team. Now I'm going to go down to, you might notice this jersey slightly different than the rest. It's got a few stars on it, a few stripes on it. US reigning national professional champion, Matthew Boucher. How do you say your name, by the way?
You got it right, Matthew Boucher.
And goodness for that. You made a big name for yourself in this race last year. Then you won the American National Championships. Puts a lot of responsibility wearing that jersey on your shoulders.
Definitely adds a little bit of pressure to your shoulders, but I just try and keep it real and keep doing what I know how to do.
What about this team though? Because this is a star-studded team. It's a big team. The disco was ready to start with, and I know Chris Horner's ready to get down there. We've got some music from about 40 years ago for Chris Horner when we couldn't get down there. But the team comes in with a lot of responsibility. You saw what the big man did last year. Are you going to wait till the end, or have you guys got some other kind of plans? Or are you allowed to tell me?
It's top secret, but no, I mean, we have a great team here to try and repeat what we did last year, but I think the way the race is lined up, it'll play out a little differently probably. So we'll just have to wait and see, probably after Bakersfield, how things are looking.
It's a long way to Bakersfield. I remember Jerry Rafferty singing about it one time. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the older guys of the peloton, along with Jens Voigt, Chris Horner.
Jens got me beat up. Jens is older.
Before we talk about this year's race, last year you were a big favourite at the Tour de France. Last year was the Tour de France of horrors, I think, for anybody watching, with all the accidents, all the problems. Your problem seemed fairly normal at the time. You got up, you finished the stage, and went to hospital. But later on, they discovered a blood clot.
What race are you talking about?
The one where, when you got to the finish line, you said, "Have I finished?"
Well, I had a friend of mine, an old teammate of mine, Gert Stegmans. He was in the break not the break, but the last group of the field as we were finishing, and we were at the 250 meter mark. But right before we crossed the line at the Tour de France with the banner, the millions of spectators there, and I turned to Gert and I said, "Are we almost at the finish?" Anyway, I feel really, for me, the crash was not even a big deal because I don't remember any of that. It was for the team doctor who really had to suffer the most because he had to, of course, answer the question 1,000 times all night. And the next morning when he finally answered it for the last time, the only problem is while he's saying it for the last time, he doesn't actually understand it to be the last time. So for him, the 1,000th time when he's like, yes, Chris, you're at the Tour de France, you finished, you crashed, now you're back at the hospital, but everything's okay, no problem. And so I'm sure he was probably happier than I was when he finally realized that, oh, Chris is back.
Well, it must have been tough for you for the rest of the year because you had to fight back. You thought you were coming back, then they found the blood clot, and you saw the guys riding the USA Pro Cycling Challenge in Colorado, and that must have been tough to be on the sidelines watching that stuff.
Wow, that was the hardest part of the crash for me, is sitting on the couch. I mean, when you're sitting on the couch and you're watching guys just doing the bike race, at the Tour de France, I think I was sitting 12th or 14th on GC when I crashed, but really that was like top 4 amongst the GC riders. And so later, as I'm at the Tour de France watching Alberto fall apart for the first time in a few years, that's when you start realizing what you're missing. Originally, when you crash, you get home, well, Alberto was going to win anyways, so no big deal. And then you see Alberto crack really bad, and you're like, oh man, that was my chance right there. I could have won the Tour de France.
But you fought back, you came back, you got back to your game. We introduced Vincenzo Nibali just a little bit earlier on. He's no mean competitor. Tirreno Adriatico is not a small race. You were leading that race. I mean, could you imagine such a great comeback?
Well, that's what I wanted to have happen. The team, I saw the course profile. I spoke with Dirk, one of our directors, fabulous director on our team, and I spoke with him and told him, I said, I want to do Paris-Nice or I want to do Trino Adriatico, but I want to come 100%. I want to be, I've been training for 8 months. I'm ready. Okay, I don't need any more training, so I'm going to come 100%. And Dirk got the profile. He showed me that we had a team time trial, and we had a huge summit finish up a 8% climb for 12, 15 miles. But the only thing that really, really scared me is I hadn't raced for 8 months, and I had to do a team time trial with Fabian Cancellara.
Ouch. Well, anyway, that was a couple of months ago. We're now pretty much on the eve of the Amgen Tour of California. You're the defending champion. You came back 100% in Tirreno Adriatico. You've had an extra 2 months to train now, so you feeling confident?
Yeah, I'm confident. Form's good, power's good, weight's good, everything's focused, ready to go. I came with a fabulous team. I got strong guys for the flats, strong guys in the climbs, guys for in between. We're here to win. The only thing we're waiting for is the Baldy stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, Radioshack, Nissan Trek, they've come to take this race again. Give a big round of applause to Chris Horner and the rest of his teammates.